Hey everyone there, it's John from Cast and Shoot Outdoors, CNS on Facebook and YouTube. I'm going to bring you another video here on how to cut up your deer. You're going to quarter it and debone it, so wanted to bring that up to you as well. And hoping these video series here are helping you learn a little bit about your outdoors if you're new to the outdoors or were never taught these different things. A lot of it, I have to say thank you to a lot of different people in my life. Just when it came to the outdoors, it was more my great-grandfather and a lot of friends that were pretty knowledgeable that taught me a lot of things over the years. We didn't have YouTube back then, so I got to thank all them and give a big shout out. But as far as this is concerned, this video here is going to be how to quarter up that deer and debone it once you get the skin and hide off there. So stay tuned and hopefully this will help you out. So these are basically the things you're going to use to butcher up this deer, quarter it, and debone it. Not a whole lot is needed. Now the torch, we're going to use that to burn the hair off the body. The knives are pretty self-explanatory. And then I just got a little steel here that helps keep everything sharp. Biggest thing is not letting your blades get dull on you, because then that's how the accidents are going to happen. You really should do to take proper care of your deer, and it's after you shoot it, try to get this thing cleaned up. Get the body cavity rinsed out. Make sure you get all, especially if you shoot it in the guts, take it to a car wash. Just rinse it out. That's probably the number one thing I tell people. If you don't want bad meat, you need to get that body cavity cleaned out. You can take a bag of ice, especially when it's warm. You throw that in the middle of the body cavity. That water will drain, the ice will melt and then the water drains out. That'll help. But if you got access to a hose, take a gallon jug of water. Make sure you get that cleaned out. Anything that would taint that meat you want to do. When you want your meat not tasting gamey or nasty, get it cleaned out. So here's another thing that I would like to make sure that people understand is you get that esophagus out of there at the neck, all that stomach contents and stuff, all those juices. That's something that'll make your meat taste gamey as well. You want to cut that off and get that out of there as soon as you can. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to try to burn the hair off the hide. And this is the best way to remove the hair off the carcass, off the meat that I found. A lot of butchers use this method. So you try to wash it off, doesn't always work real well, but this will burn the hair right off. So these legs, they come off. There's no attachments with bones. So I like to get these out first, and that'll make it a little easier for doing the rest of your butchering. Again, we're going to go down here by the hip, cut this right through. Come down along the spine. Once you get that started, like I said, it'll just peel right out of there. And if that meat is aged properly, I do mean it will peel. one done. Okay, so now we have a lot of trimming meat here that we can use. So I'm just going to cut that off right to where I think that shoulder roast is going to become. Or I shouldn't say shoulder roast, the neck roast. So Sawzall is going to make it quick and easy. I shouldn't need this anymore today, just for that neck. That should be about it. So I wanted to show you the glands. And this is what makes your meat taste gamey. This piece came off the neck here, and right there is a gland. That's the kind of stuff you don't want. I cut that out. They'll look like a big old gray or yellow zit is what they look like. So when you cut out your neck roast and you start trimming away, you'll have those glands on the neck, and then you do have a couple in the hind quarters. So here is where the inside loins normally would be, is along the spine, down below the hip there. And they run from, you know, the bottom up to the back side of the rib cage. My buddy took those out, so I couldn't show you how to remove those, but that's a pretty easy process. When you're clean field dressing your deer, you can get that out of there pretty easy. So now you got your shank. It runs up here. A lot of people like to cut those up and saute them, and ossobuco, or however you pronounce it. I don't. I'll just remove this meat here up through, and then I'll make the cuts. And you can kind of see the way these muscles run. You'll be making incisions here, and you're basically just flaying them out, and that's really all you're doing. And kind of go from there. Oh, you can see where all these will connect, and that's where I like to, you know, like I said, debone all this, run my fingers. Most of this you can really do without much effort. By the time we're done, we're going to starve a cat. What we're going to do is, we got this taken off the shank there. Like I said, we're going to be following the lines of where all these muscle groups go, and it'll make it a lot easier. Normally, like I said, we're going to get rid of this because you don't want that tallow on there. That's not good. So most of this you can use your finger and kind of peel it away, and gets real easy to do that once you get it cut in. You just gotta get it started first. Get your fingers under there. Most of this stuff you can actually do with your fingers. You don't need a knife. A little of this tallow is not going to hurt you. But like I said, that's what gives it its nasty, gamey taste if you leave that on. So I like to remove as much as I can. Give that to the birds and the squirrels. So we'll start here along this seam and get that going. And this runs right down that big femur bone, we're going back up and in. And you just got to find that tendon. So again, follow the lines, and that's how you're gonna debone this meat properly. It really is a fairly simple process. Just take a little time. I'm not somebody that needs to go real fast with it. I will clean this up better when I get in the kitchen, but there. So you get that all undone there, right up in the front. Then you can really see how these muscles run, like so. And makes it a little easier to do your job and follow along. So take this piece out here. And like I said, I use my fingers more than I use the knife to follow these lines. That way you can make your roast and all that good stuff, whatever you want to do. Cut your steaks off of these. Okay. As you can see, you got a really nice piece of meat there. You can make all kinds of different things with that. Tie it up as a roast, a steak. We like to chunk ours up to either make tips or for canning. Okay, so now you can see the rest of it here. And once again, just use your fingers to follow this. And should peel right out for you. Just take your time. Now this is a really tender little piece of meat right here. Probably my favorite. This is what we make almost all of our cube meat from for tips and stuff. Just awesome. This little tab here, go for grinding meat. Okay. So now we're going to come to this piece here. And you got a little bit of a knuckle, as you can see right here. And we're just going to go around that. That's where that tendon goes, but follow this along the bone. And you can see where it attaches up here. So we're going to get that cut away. Normally I would split this down the middle, but because this thing was was not cleaned out in the middle, you know, from the shot. I don't want to get any of that onto the other meat, so that's why I'm doing it the way I am. But again, normally I would take this and I'd split it with a Sawzall, clean it up, and then debone it from there. And but that's the problem with people that don't do their own meat. They need to learn how to take care of it. And when you take it to a butcher, an honest butcher is going to tell you, no, you're not getting your own meat back because I got to do too many batches at once. If you do have one, you better thank him, because most of the time they throw their meat in all together, these batches, so you don't know what the other guy did or gal, how long that deer sat. Did they clean it up? You know, or they clean the body cavity out? You know, what else is in there? So for me, I don't like to do that. I like to do my own and then take it into the butcher if I'm going to have some sticks made up or whatever, which I do some of that myself. But we've got a local butcher that makes a awesome jalapeno cheese sausage that I just can't get enough of, and so that's what we use a lot of our trimmings up for if it's not for burger. So there's a ball tip roast right there. Excellent for putting in a crock pot. Whatever you want to do. Like I said, there's so many different things you can do it, but that's a nice little roast. Okay. So then, as you can see, this is kind of shot up here. I won't use most of this, but I will make sure that whatever I can, I will use into grinding meat. And we'll clean that up at a later. No need to show you that. But here's one thing right here. When you feel these hard little deposits inside the leg, those are usually where the glands are at. Those you want to get out of there. That's a gland right there. So there's usually a couple spots where the glands are. That's one of them. So here again, another one of those spots where there's a gland. Get that out of there. Now here's another little thing that I can tell you. That stuff would all go in the grinder at the butcher's, because number one, they weigh your meat. Okay, so that's added weight that you don't want in your meat anyways. So, you know, when you clean this up, now you're getting just pure protein. Again, you got a couple knuckles here. They run down. I'm going to take this meat off the shank first because I grind it up. Then we'll cut this off and we'll square it up and make a nice little roast out of that. Now at this point my knife is starting to get a little dull, so I always try to keep my knives really sharp. It makes a difference, huge difference, so you're not cutting yourself. Right around that knee. Okay, so you got all that meat gone right here. You got that knuckle, and you can see here is the other knuckle and right there. So what I'm going to do is I can do one of two things. I can follow this line and cut it up and make it look real nice, or just cut it right here where that joint is and then use that. So I like to do that because we want a little more meat on our roast. So here you go. Here's your shoulder roast, which is probably the best roast out there. Like I said, clean that up, and that is absolutely awesome. It's tender meat, just flavorful. Thanks so much, and tie lines and shoot straight, everyone. No kidding. Hello.
Phone?
Yeah?
Just you?
Yeah, I'm trying to do a video.